to manifest in the world. You are going to be confronted with people who disagree with your point of view. And it's interesting because I believe that it's healthy, but then I also believe that staying away from negative energy, negative comments is also something that you should be very mindful of. So where do you kind of find that balance or the integration of, I still need to listen to people who disagree with me because, first of all, it keeps you grounded, it keeps you humble, it keeps you honest, but at the same time, they could just be projecting their own bullshit, their own fears, their own insecurities onto the work that I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, that is a very fine line when you get into the public sphere. Your ego will be very quick to want to see the negative things people have to say about you. And, the fear-based animal survivalist mind will want to consider that they're all true, because that part of your mind is literally designed to always assume the worst, right? It's the same part of your mind that is, as a hunter-gatherer walking through the forest, it's that part of your mind that's always on alert that there might be a bear around the next corner or behind that rock. Like, you have to assume the worst, because if you don't assume the worst and you're wrong, the consequences can be really severe. So there's nothing to hate about that part of you. It's not a bad part of you. It's just the way we evolved as human beings. And so that part of you will pay extra attention to the negative comments. And I'm sure you've done this since you've been podcasting as well, where you'll read through the comments of a podcast and I'll read like 100 comments. And this was more so when I started YouTube, and I've obviously had a lot of chance to navigate and transcend this in my mind now. But man, when I first started YouTube, I would read 100 positive comments. Oh, this changed my life. This gave me a new perspective. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then one comment from somebody saying, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Do yourself a favor and get off YouTube. And my mind all day long is going over that one comment. Yep. And I'm like, why is this one comment so important to me when I had 100 positive comments? Why am I not obsessing over those ones? And it's the part of your mind that wants to make you better. It's like, good. If it's positive, then we're good on that end. We don't need to think about it anymore. We need to think about what we're not good at, what we can improve upon. And I think there's a gift to that. I think there's a good quality to that, where we can improve ourselves dramatically by being open to criticism and feedback from an impersonal point of view. Really, when we personalize it is when we lose the ability to gain from it, because then it just becomes a sad story that makes me depressed, and I'm not actually learning or expanding my awareness at all. So for me, I think I become so much better as a teacher through the people that disagree with me in the comment sections or whatever, because somebody will ask a question that I know the answer to, but I've never had to articulate it before. And this person is forcing me to come up with the words to explain it. And as I'm sitting there typing my answer in a kind of a flow state, new ways of expressing this idea start coming out as that divine intelligence in us knows how to get answers to the problems at hand. And I'll just be amazed at the intelligence that comes through when I have to prove a point about something I'm teaching. So I'm now super grateful for when people want to have a back and forth with me. And it doesn't actually happen very often. So much so that when it does happen, I'll always thank the person for being willing to spar a little bit, because most people will either not respond to your response or they'll just say something negative and dip out. I really appreciate those people that are willing to push back, because just like training in mixed martial arts or something, like you get better by fighting the best fighters in the gym, not the guy you can beat up easily, right? You want to put yourself to the test in that way. And so we should see our critics as a helpful training tool that we can use to make ourselves better.
I find there's a lot of truth in that. And maybe it's something that you kind of learn as you progress through this online societal craziness that you get exposed to, with so many people just consuming something like, and I think that's probably a section of it as well, is being able to discern the level of awareness that someone's actually bringing to the comments, right? Because there's a spectrum.
Fully.
There's people who are just like, you're an idiot. And then there's the people who are like, well, I see what you're saying about this, but if you view it in this light or that light, and then you can kind of almost judge it from the level of awareness that they're bringing to the comment section, so that, and I'm sure you don't waste your time on people who are like, you're an idiot, you're dumb, right? Like those are almost just like step past, because it's someone projecting an insecurity towards you in regards to those things versus someone who's actually
Right.
trying to progress their level of thinking.
Yeah. Well, when you go back to the maxim of I only ever see my own state of being, then when you really learn that and you integrate that truth beyond just the conceptual, then you actually lose the ability to feel triggered at people being a dick to you. Because you just understand that's just who they think they are. Like you can only project how you feel about yourself onto other people. So I may see someone who is doing heinous evil to little children or something that we deem as horrible, and I'm still not going to get upset at this person and call them names and see them as evil if I know that I am one with God. Therefore, everyone's one with God. I may disagree with their behavior. I may even have a conversation with them about what I disagree about, but I can't hate you anymore or put you out of my heart if I truly love and have forgiven myself for everything. So when you know that, it's like the negative comments you see of people trying to get under your skin or insult you, to me, it's just there's a compassion that comes out of like, I'm so sorry, brother, that you have that in your heart. I know what it's like to live with that toxic negativity, and you have to get it out of yourself and onto others. The ego makes you feel like the only way to feel better about myself is to tear other people down. I lived that way most of my life. So when I see that state of consciousness now, it's really just a compassionate response.
Yeah, that's super, super powerful and definitely a spot to go. I mean, especially from the place of getting triggered,